Hey everyone, Tankenstein here, and in this video I've got your first dev server overview and gameplay for the Yak-141. This is a rank 8 battle rating 12.0 strike aircraft, VTOL aircraft, whatever you want to call it, supersonic fighter for the Russian air tech tree, and this sits right underneath where the Yak-38M sits, so it's pretty much skips all of rank 7, which makes sense. There aren't really many VTOL aircraft in WarThunder, and it just kind of goes right to this. And this is something a lot of people have been wanting for a hell of a long time. So that said, let's look into this real quick. So these are its modifications. As you can see, it does have flares and chaff, thankfully. It has 60 large caliber countermeasures, which should be pretty effective. If it was just 60 regular countermeasures, that would kind of suck, but large caliber is better. Now that said, this does not have access to the R-73s that it would have had access to in real life, at least not as of right yet, but it does have access to the R-27ER, the R-27R, the R-27T, and R-60s, as well as a decent but not amazing ground strike loadout. So this is a very powerful vehicle. From what I'm told, this is a pretty decently maneuvering vehicle as well. I'm not 100% sure on that, but as you can see here, this does have a pretty standard setup insofar as VTOL is concerned, but it also looks like it has a helmet mounted display, which means that I will be able to kind of control where the lock-on, I guess you could say, is for its missiles based on where I'm looking rather than where the plane is pointing. So that said, let's get into a few matches here. I am stoked to see how this thing performs. Oh, and just so you know, there are no additional camouflages as of right now. And also, this max speed should probably be closer to 1,800 kilometers per hour, and likely we'll see a rate of climb decrease before the server comes out, the live server, because of course, all dev server things, every single stat and how this plane flies models, it's all up for change until the live server comes out. That said though, let's get into a few matches. So in case you guys want to see, here it is taking off. And this does of course have an afterburner. Can I actually take off? Maybe not. So I've got 30. Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna. I've got 30 minutes of fuel on this. I'm not gonna try to take off vertically. I don't think I'll actually be able to. That's pretty interesting. So you might need minimal fuel load in order to actually do that. But being that this is a gigantic map, I don't really think that's going to happen. But look how this thing looks at the back. A lot of people don't like it, but I kind of do. I think it's a pretty cool design. So can confirm this is quite a bit more maneuverable than other VTOL aircraft. However, that speed bleed is just terrible. But it is pretty maneuverable. Now, you won't be able to thrust vector like you can with Harriers. So this is kind of more like the Yak-38 in that you can't really change the thrust down once you're at higher speed. So as you can see here, the thrust vector control is at 100%, but this is staying rearward because I can't actually do that. And this also does have pulse Doppler and helmet mounted display. So pretty darn cool. But that said, let's do this. I've got R-60Ms and R-27ERs equipped, so we should be able to actually target some people long range, which I'm pretty stoked for. But you know, let's see what we could do. Okay, I know that is a bot, but most of the enemies I'm going to be facing are bots. Let's see how well this tracks. Now, if I were to keep this on 100% thrust, I am going to, as you can see, this is the new Vapor, and it just kind of sticks there, which isn't fun. You know, it looks cool, but it is very obstructive, but very cool particles. I like how it looks. Let's see. Okay. Have my R60 or my R27ERs. He's hopefully doesn't dive beyond that mountain. And okay, I'm still tracking. Still tracking. As you can see down here, you now have the ability to see exactly what type of missiles took someone out. Am I still tracking? Oh man, I got the kill! Who the hell am I tracking right now? Huh, very cool. Not bad. So I'm gonna take that off. I'm gonna go for this MiG-23 here. Got him, hopefully. And go for this MiG-23 here. Hopefully get him. Probably not. So this does have a 30mm cannon, which is cool. Whoop! Don't want to get hit. Not doing poorly, though. I mean, like, you have to remember that in dev server gameplay, you don't really get the opportunity to face many actual enemies. This plane doesn't really have the ability to carry many missiles, but, you know, it does at least have the ability to carry some. Let's put these flaps on. Okay, they can handle pretty high Gs, or a high speed, rather, so that's nice. Okay, and large caliber countermeasures don't seem to work all that much, but I really like how you can actually tell what you were killed by now. So that said, let's get into one more match, see how we could do. I really hope that we are not in this map again. Not that it's a bad map, but I would much rather it be a smaller map. So that said, let's get into one more match, but thus far, pretty impressed. Radar works pretty well. The VTOL, I'll go into a lower fuel amount, but everything works pretty well with this. Okay, so this time I've equipped it with 20 minutes of fuel rather than 30. Let's see if we can actually take off. And it looks like we can, although it's not incredibly fast. So probably if you have less than 20 minutes of fuel, maybe the 10-minute minimum fuel load, you'll probably be doing better with this as a VTOL aircraft. But, you know, if nothing else, you can take off pretty decently with 20 minutes of fuel. It's just 30 minutes of fuel and a relatively full loadout that you're really going to be struggling. Oh, and this does have IRST. Like I said, my controls, being that this is the dev server does not automatically import your newest controls, so they are a little bit off, but as you can see, I do have IRST on this, which is very nice, and you do have all different sorts of radar-guided modes and all that, which is very, very, very nice, in my opinion. Also, a little bit of an interesting sort of beyond, or BVR, mode there, so that's really cool. Oh, and also, this is the interior of this plane. As you can see, one very important thing to know, a lot of people want to see what the cockpit looks like. This is it. So very cool. I mean, this is I think only 3 or 4 of these were ever made. So it's really cool that Gaijin modeled the cockpit, even if it looks a little bit unfinished. Hopefully this is pretty standard or pretty true to real life. I'm assuming it is. But that's really cool that Gaijin was able to do that. But again, being that this is the dev server, as you can see, I mean, this map, a lot of people are, as you can see down here, almost everyone is crashing into the mountains. So I'm just playing with stupid bots, and unfortunately it looks like that's just kind of how this is going to be. Yes, for sure. Those are enemy players. No hit. Okay, let's get that working, and he's going to successfully evade for now. But this is probably one of the biggest problems with this aircraft. Wow, he just got shot out of the sky. This is probably one of the biggest problems with this aircraft is simply that while it is very good in many ways, it only has 4 missiles, which, you know, if you told that to somebody at 11.0 BR, 10.0 BR, be one thing, but especially in a map like this, I really hate this, the dev server map. I think it's a pretty cool map, but it just, I mean, it offers really good disruption from radar, but you also have it where there's not really all too much one can do. I think he's going to probably kill that guy. Okay, someone died. Okay, this is having a tough time locking. There we go. Probably not the smartest thing to launch right now, but this is the extended range after all. Let's see what we can do. Got him! Very, very nice. I was not expecting that. So as said, it looks like we're just facing a lot of bots right now. So again, I think this is a really good plane. I'm not sure if it should be 12.0 BR. Probably should. I'm not sure, though. But unfortunately, when it comes to dev server gameplay, there's only so much one can do. And I'm just going to make pretend and act like maybe my plane's been shot out of the sky so we can see what this ejection seat looks like right now. So, slow down. And there is no ejection seat. Okay. Ejection seat does not work. Okay. Either way, thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, of course, if you'd like, consider subscribing, commenting, liking this video. It really all helps. Either way, thanks again. I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.